A very good afternoon and welcome to UBC Lunchtime News today on the 17th of June 2022, coming to you live from the Nile Avenue. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. In our top stories of the day, to describe the successful execution of Operation Shuja in Democratic Republic of Congo against the ADF bases, President Yoweri Museveni used the food metaphor to drive his point home, saying war is like eating food. Food is for food, but without different elements added to it, it can be a problem. Museveni said this while praising commanders and men of the UPDF for the operation that involved air power, artillery and accurate reconnaissance that saw ADF bases in the eastern DR Congo neutralized and remnants scattering into the vast Rwenzori mountains and jungles.
German army led by Field Marshal Paulus. They resisted there. The whole town was destroyed, just like you see in Ukraine. And the more destruction, the better for you. If the town is destroyed, very good firing position. So the 62nd Army was stood there from, I forgot, I think it started like August or something. The Germans could not overcome them. They destroyed the whole town. Then the Russians prepared a big counter-offensive, which came and crushed the German 6th Army. And that marked the end of the drive of the Germans to go east. They started going back. So therefore, this is the confidence I want in our soldiers. Each soldier to know that as long as I have bullets and I use the terrain properly, and I'm coordinating with my people in a squad, in a section, in a platoon, no enemy will remove me from here. I will only go from here on orders, because the commanders have ordered me to go, but not because the enemy has frightened me. This is the confidence I want, and all the officers need to be part of the training. So the operation is going very well. I thank you for everything. I thank you for having a very good relationship with the people, with the Congolese soldiers, some of the officers selling fuel of the army. This is real enemy action. This is real enemy action. I hear some stories once in a while. You hear some of those stories, even in Somalia. At one time, we even arrested some people. So please don't tolerate this.
Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome you to Mountain Division Headquarters, purposely to come and congratulate these gallant sons and daughters of UPDF who participated in Operation Shuja in the different roles. The preliminary aim for which Shuja was mooted has been really achieved, and that was to destroy the ADF main camps so that we can deny them freedom of action as elaborated by the division commander. We are now engaged in typical counter-insurgency operations against smaller groups that scampered for their life out of those camps that were destroyed by our preliminary bombardment, by the Air Force, the artillery, and finally the occupation of those camps by our forces. We therefore want to thank you, Your Excellency, for your guidance towards building this formidable force from a very small guerrilla war army to now a formidable force that is widely respected for their patriotism, their Pan-Africanism, cautious discipline, and being a fighting force. Of course, they say that the machine is the man behind it. So capacity building in the form of training, correct posting of the personnel, and looking after them to make sure they are a motivated force.
Our operation objective is to destroy ADF rebel camps, stroke groups in Eastern DRC. Our military operational end state is to degrade the ADF capacity to make war. The strategic end state is to create a peaceful environment for trade and prosperity between the peoples of DRC and Uganda.
Now, from the side of health, monkeypox is poised to get a new name, the World Health Organization says, after scientists recently criticized the current name as discriminatory and stigmatizing. The researchers say it's also inaccurate to name versions of the virus after some parts of Africa. According to World Health Organization Director General, they are told to have an emergency meeting next week to discuss the virus, which he says that is not behaving in the way it has been behaving in the past. Take a look.
WHO's goal is to support countries to contain transmission and stop the outbreak with tried and tested public health tools, including surveillance, contact tracing, and isolation of infected patients. It's also essential to increase awareness of risks and actions to reduce onward transmission for the most at-risk groups, including men who have sex with men and their close contacts. Today, we have also published interim guidance on the use of smallpox vaccines for monkeypox. WHO does not recommend mass vaccination against monkeypox. While smallpox vaccines are expected to provide some protection against monkeypox, there is limited clinical data and limited supply. Any decision about whether to use vaccines should be made jointly by individuals who may be at risk and their healthcare provider based on an assessment of risks and benefits on a case-by-case basis. It's also essential that vaccines are available equitably wherever needed. To that end, WHO is working closely with our member states and partners to develop a mechanism for fair access to vaccines and treatments. WHO is also working with partners and experts from around the world on changing the name of monkeypox virus, its clades, and the disease it causes. We will make announcements about the new names as soon as possible. The global outbreak of monkeypox is clearly unusual and concerning. It's for that reason that I have decided to convene the emergency committee under the international health regulations next week to assess whether this outbreak represents a public health emergency of international concern. Christian, back to you.
In more stories, the National Curriculum Development Centre and the Ministry of Education and Sports rolled out the newly lower secondary curriculum in February 2020, aiming at producing graduates with employable skills that are competitive in the labour market. Now, the Acting Director, Directorate of Industrial Training in the Ministry of Education and Sports, Patrick Biakatonda, says that students and the program has progressed well and they're producing students able to sustain the job market.
Revised competence-based curriculum is produced. So what are
fruit farming, vegetable growing, piggery section is moving on well, and learners and teachers have exhibited, or they are exhibiting, a high level of enthusiasm in what they are doing, and learners are waiting to be assessed next year.
Explore more on the new lower secondary curriculum, and it has been here for 2 years across the country, and we are very much impressed by this innovation by the National Curriculum Development Center in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports. It is doing a lot of innovations which are going to help us a lot, and on our side as teachers, we are really embracing it and implementing it as required.
We'll assist the children will exit the cycle with 2 certifications. The DIT certification for both for the World of Work and which is ISO. But when you have that certification which is vocational, for instance, you have a certificate in domestic electrician, that means during vacation you can work. And the DIT already has MOU with Electricity Regulatory Authority. So you can be registered and you work, run as you earn. So this is the purpose of vocationalization.
Great that the curriculum is working for students and for people to be more employable. Now, top officials of the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, the United Nations Mine Action Service, and key stakeholders have concluded a 3-day conference to take a stock of the current measures to counter improvised explosive devices in order to develop a comprehensive IED threat mitigation strategy. The conference in Mogadishu, attended by Somali security forces, the European Union Training Mission in Somalia, and the UK Mission Support Team, and other partners, was closed on Thursday by the ATMIS Force Commander, Lieutenant General Diomede Ndegea. Now, in his remarks, Lieutenant General Ndegea noted that there was need to evaluate the conduct of the mission's activities and operations with a view of finding solutions to the challenges possessed by explosive devices. He called for efforts by all stakeholders, including local communities, to counter the threat posed by IEDs. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories for the lunchtime news.
Jennifer, Jukila, Wewagamba, I don't have waka. You passed the ice through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo. Jangola we waka, look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Show them waka with MTN Momo Nyabo. Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Leaders who care create a good learning environment.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission. Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Football packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
The government of Uganda, through the Office of the Prime Minister, in collaboration with the United Nations in Uganda, have organized the first ever annual Sustainable Development Goals Conference from 16th to 17th June 2022 at Serena Conference Center, Kampala, under the theme Building Effective Models to Accelerate the SDGs in the Post-COVID-19 Era. The conference, held at both regional and national levels, aims at sharing ideas and good practices as well as catalyze actions to achieve the 2030 agenda, leaving no one behind. The national conference will be presided over by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. The regional forums will be held in Mbale on June 8th, in Hoima on June 10th, and in Gulu on June 13th, 2022. The conference will provide for both physical and virtual participation. For any inquiries on how to be part, go to sdgs.opm.go.ug. Together for the SDGs.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello, this is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Congratulations. Oh, one good day.
Good day? But I haven't entered any competition.
Owadechi, since you use your phone every day, we have randomly selected you as one of our loyal customers, and you have won a brand new pickup.
Hey, so how do I get this pickup?
The pickup is in Namave. All we have to do is quickly bring it to you. You know, we are delivering many of them. So, just send us 100k for fuel via mobile money, and we will bring it to you.
But Chief, I'm in no hurry to receive it. Namambe is just here. Keep it at your warehouse, give me directions, and I will get time to pick it up.
Vow nawe. If you don't have money, just say.
Tonfera. Never send money to strangers. Winners of competitions are contacted through official channels and are never asked to pay for anything. Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
You're still watching UBC Lunchtime News. In more stories, now Rwanda's government has come out to clear the air, saying that the human rights asylum seekers from the United Kingdom are guaranteed under the court's law.
In general, if you look at the situation of migrants in Rwanda, you will find that their rights guaranteed by the Rwandan law. I don't think there has been a case or a problem that can cast doubt on the capacity of the Rwandan law to protect the rights of migrants.
This is a migration and economic development partnership. We recognize the value that migrants bring to a society. They have much to contribute in terms of they can contribute to our culture, they can contribute to creation of livelihoods. There is also an economic development component that will raise the standard of living for Rwandans and all who reside in Rwanda. The primary objective is to, quote, fully integrate them in Rwandan society. It is not to send them off to other countries. However, we recognize that people have freedom of movement, and should they wish to move to a third country where they would have legal residence, we will facilitate that movement. However, the Rwandan government will not be involved in the application to that third country, but we will facilitate.
Joint force. Kenya says preparations for the deployment should be finalized at a meeting of regional commanders here in Nairobi on Sunday. The East African Regional Force will be deployed to the Ituri, North Kivu and South Kivu provinces and will work in close coordination with the UN peacekeeping force. They are expected to enforce peace in support of the DRC military. The resurgence of the M23 rebel group has forced thousands to flee the DRC into Uganda. It has also rekindled tensions between the DRC and neighboring Rwanda. Well, for more on that story, we're now joined by CGTN's Chris Ochamaringa, who's live for us in Kinshasa with more. Chris, what is the latest you can bring us on the situation on the fighting in eastern DRC?
Well, the situation in Bunagana town in the east of the DRC is relatively calm. There have been no reports of fighting, although we've been informed that there's a very heavy deployment of Congolese forces around that area. They're planning a counter-offensive to recapture that town from the M23 rebels who are still in control of that area. We've also been told that on Wednesday there was a militia group known as the Mai Mai. It's that tried to enter Bunagana to take control of the area from the M23, but they were not successful. The situation has really gotten worse in the DRC. The government had a very high-level meeting that was chaired by President Felix Tshisekedi, and they decided to order the Rwandan troops, who they accuse of supporting the M23 rebels, to immediately leave their territory. They also cancelled some bilateral agreements that were signed between President Felix Tshisekedi and President Paul Kagame last year on trade cooperation. And people held a very massive protest in the eastern city of Goma yesterday to denounce Rwanda's support of the M23 rebels, the occupation of Bunagana town. They also condemned the Ugandan president, Yoweri Museveni, for being complicit in this whole affair. They're saying the town of Bunagana shares a border with Uganda, and it's Uganda that allowed Rwandan Defense Forces to pass through their territory to enter Congo to attack their forces. So there was a lot of discussion about this, and even in the parliament of the DRC, the Speaker of Parliament on Tuesday said they're seriously going to consider cancelling the joint military operation between the UPDF and the Congolese army that's hunting down the Allied Democratic Forces in North Kivu and Ituri province. So the situation has really gotten worse, and people, are urging for immediate solutions to stop more people from dying.
Right.
In our sports stories, the Warriors ended the Celtics' quest for a record, extending the 18th title when they handed them yet another loss in the NBA Game 6 playoff final played today morning at the TD Garden Arena in Boston. As usual, a number of commendable performances were known to go unnoticed as this game saw history written by players like Draymond Green, Klay Thompson and Steve Curry win their 4th titles each. The game also saw Steph earn himself one individual honor MVP final series. After a series of resistance and attempt to overthrow the new kings of the jungle, Warriors, the former NBA giants Celtics today morning were given yet another season to prepare for a comeback after they threw away 2 leads earlier on the series. The Celtics finally succumbed to 3 losses in a row, leaving nothing but rather than more history to be written by the Dubs. Now the game ended 103-90 in favor of the Warriors, including Warriors star man Steph Curry scoring team high 34 points, and on the other hand Jaylen Brown also scoring 34 points for the Celtics, though it was not enough to send the series to the 7th game. This game also saw the Warriors clinch their 7th NBA title and a 4th title in 8 years.
So there'll be no game 7 as Boston came out strong, went up by as many as 12. It looked like the Celtics were ready to go and ready to force a game 7. But Golden State has seen it all during all these years.
You can put it back.
Every year. Step. Reason for all this.
All right, thank you, Steve. Congratulations. Now let's bring back Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum.
Well, congratulations to the Warriors and for Steph Curry being the winner and played so well for the Warriors. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Thank you so much for watching UBC Lunchtime News. It's a wrap, and you can stay tuned for more programming coming your way. Have a good afternoon.